Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play DuckTales for the NES again. In the last video, we made our way through the Himalayas, and now we are going to the moon. I find it interesting that this landmass, this continent, this island, this wherever, that we've been exploring all game, has 4 continents and 4 landmarks from each one, scrunched up into one place. I'm obviously not counting the moon because that's obviously in space. But you're going to tell me that you got South America, Europe, Africa, and Asia all scrunched up into one compact landmass? Wishful thinking game. Anyway, now that I finally questioned that, let's head to the moon. We got ourselves a couple of enemies here. We got the robots that jump back and forth. We have the little robots, or rather, okay, we got the octopi that move back and forth, and we got the robots that jump at you and try to punch you. There is a invincibility medal near the start, but I couldn't get it to spawn for the life of me. Anyway, I want to go to the left first, once I get in the UFO. Because there is some treasure that I do want to pick up. You want to make sure you don't hit the spikes, and you want to make sure that you bounce on the ground spikes whenever you see them. That'll allow you to get around. And these big green and yellow walls, I'm guessing they're supposed to have some function on this ship. You do have to use the pogo attack to get to them. And I do not want to go to the right just yet. I want to go to the left and then go up. We're going to go ahead and get some money while we're here. Watch out for the robots. Thankfully, the robots can drop health whenever you kind of sort of need it. And by jumping up here, after pushing the can to the left, we can get ourselves a bunch of money, and we can get ourselves a cake, because apparently the developers thought, hey, you're going to take a lot of damage getting here. Might as well refill your health. And let's go up even further. Left takes us to our good friend Launchpad, and nothing else. There's no treasure in that direction. And by opening the chest that is to the left, we get the UFO key, which will now be in the item menu when we pause the game. So now that's over with, we're going to luck out and get some treasure there, apparently. And we need to hustle so that way we can get to the right, so that way the robots don't get in our way. You can power through them if you need to, or off-screen them in case they do get in your way in those little narrow corridors with the ceiling spikes. And by going down here with the pogo attack, we can get ourselves some more money. And sometimes I get a jewel just from bouncing off of that guy. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And by smacking everything out of our way to the right, we can get some gems to spawn. There's nothing over here, sadly, where the rocks are. But you can get the stuff that's over here, one of which is a cake. And now that we got that over with, we can get some money over here, but not much else. And I'm going to take the safe way and go under and then back up. And by going to the right here, we can get ourselves some gems for some money, but that's about it. And there's some health here. And there is the remote control. Now Gizmo Duck can blast open the wall. By the way, it's kind of hard to tell, but right above where all those octopi aliens are is another rope that you can grab onto with up. And if you go to it, you'll find Miss Beakley, who will be able to heal you. I don't recommend going there, because you're probably going to take so much damage trying to get over there, just trying to clear the octopi out, that it's not really going to be worth it. And when you drop down, you're more than likely going to take at least one hit worth of damage from the aliens that respawn once you get back over here. So, yeah. Might as well tell you, hey, Miss Beakley's there. No, it's not exactly worth it. And now, we're going this way. Here's some money. We're going to use our pogo attack to bounce over here and off the spikes. You want to be very careful. And bounce off this chest to get this weird alien golden square that's also worth $1 million. And because I landed on the edge there, my pogo attack kind of canceled out there a little bit, which was kind of weird. And now that we have the hidden treasure, I want to go back to where our good buddy Launchpad is. Yes, he is here on the alien UFO. Why he's here, I'm not exactly sure. Not exactly sure how he's going to help you get out of outer space because he has a plane. But you do want to utilize his services in every stage you find him in if you want to get that cool 10 million. So, smack you around. Smack you around. Hey, you gave me money. Thank you. And yes, we do want to make our way back. And sometimes there is a bonus level that spawns when you're on your way back to Duckburg. I got it to show up in the practice run, but I didn't get it to show up here. Basically, it's a very simple bonus area where you just head to the left as the game auto-scrolls in that direction while you're walking around some cloud platforms. And Gizmo Gearloose, I believe it's Gizmo Gearloose, he is on a flying machine in the top center of the screen, and he drops jewels and gems, which you can pick up for some extra money. And then extra money does go back to as your total when you make it back to Duckburg. Thankfully, that bonus level is really simple, but for some reason I can't get it to spawn for whatever reason. But anyway, now that we've made it back to Duckburg, it's time to go back to the moon. And apparently I keep taking damage here. And I still can't get that metal to spawn either. Well, at least I can get the ice cream to spawn. Also, don't worry about getting the UFO key and the remote control again, because once they're in your item menu, you don't have to go worry about going back to get them ever again. I mean, you can go back to the UFO for more money if you want. Want to be careful there and take for that tight squeeze. But you don't have to worry about getting the UFO key or the remote control Gizmo Duck ever again. And there's some food here. There's you dropping down right there, which I didn't want. Might as well grab that because I'm gonna need the health. And once we head over to this area, we'll be facing a giant moon rat. Kind of want to stay in the corner here a little bit. Ow. And you want to jump on the giant moon rat 5 times. Hopefully without killing yourself. I was really pushing it right there. I was really pushing it. But guess what? We now have $10 million. Finally managed to pull it off. All land clear. Ha ha. If you want to get back the treasures, come to Dracula Duck Manor. Funny how they get it right on the NES, but on Game Boy it's Dracula Duck Manor. So this is the same exact level as Transylvania. Let's skip the mirror. And we need to get to the first rope ladder that we can find. We're going to climb up it. We're going to continue to the right. And we're going to get past all the enemies, hopefully without getting hurt a whole lot. Now we're going to climb up the next rope that we see. We're going to go through the secret wall. And we're going to enter the mirror to the right. And by running to the left and then getting over here, we want to make sure we duck down so that we don't get hit by the ghost. And now it's time to face Dracula Duck. Where is he going to be? Give ourselves some distance. No, not too much distance. And and you want to make sure you stay on the ground, so that way the bat is pretty much where you can easily pogo to it. So that way you can bounce off of it and get on Dracula Duck's head. Can't believe I managed to land that. And one more, and that'll do it. Takes 5 bops on the head with the pogo attack to beat Dracula Duck. And we get to meet Magica Dispel, who is now green instead of purple, and Flintheart Glomgold. I'm guessing Magica Dispel is green because Magica carrying Flintheart Glomgold is one whole thing. NES palette limitations. Anyway, you may have beaten Dracula Duck, but not me. If you want the treasures back, you'll have to catch me. All you have to do, just jump up and grab the rope with up, keep on climbing, and then hold right, jump off the rope, land where the chest is, and you'll beat the game. And with 10 million, you'll get the better ending, where Scrooge is wearing a crown. In addition to finding the legendary 5 treasures, Scrooge McDuck has stunned the world with his discovery of 2 lost treasures. You're an expert treasure hunter. 10,158,000. And of course, Huey, Dewey, and Louie want some of the credit, even though they've done nothing the entire game. Do I have to press A? I guess I have to wait. And then Scrooge gives us some little message about friends, making one the richest duck in the world, da-da-da-da-da. And then the game ends and we get to hear the DuckTales theme. No credits, as was typical for these Disney Capcom games of the era. And this time around, we did it with 10 million, and we got the better newspaper headline as a result. So, this game, I still stand by the fact that it's a pretty good game. It can be a little difficult in spots, especially if you're trying to find everything and get to 10 million. You will have to utilize Launchpad McQuack in every place that you go to, so that way you can get a bunch of treasure, go to Launchpad, go back to Duckburg, go back to where you were, collect a whole bunch of treasure, and then get to the boss. Hopefully with a bigger time bonus at the end of the boss battle, so that way you can get even more gold and money on top of what you picked up the first time. Well, he was in the Amazon, he was on the moon, he was in the Himalayas. Was he in? No, he was in the African mine too. You know, the only place he didn't show up in was in Transylvania. All in all, this is a pretty good game. Graphics are pretty colorful. They're easily identifiable. You can tell the cousins and Webby and Miss Beakley and everyone in the game apart. And I like the enemy designs too. They're very Disney-ish. Capcom kind of stuck to the style, and they stuck to it rather well. Sound and music, you'll definitely be remembering some of it after you turn the game off, especially the music for the moon. And the sound, it's pretty much, it's pretty good quality. Capcom did good by the Capcom licenses of the 80s and 90s in the NES era. And yeah, this game is not only fun to look at, it's pretty fun to listen to as well. Play control, It's about as tight as it can be. I don't really have much in the way of problems with it. Some enemies can be hard to deal with, especially the spiders in the Himalayas, but pogoing is a lot better than it was on Game Boy. I can't believe I'm comparing this version to the Game Boy, but the Game Boy version felt all kind of scrunched up, and the NES version definitely felt a lot more open. I definitely felt like I could get around. Definitely felt like I could get out of a minecart, that's for sure. And I definitely didn't have any problems. If I died at any point, it definitely felt like my own fault. And getting Scrooge to get him to do what you want him to do, not that hard, thankfully. And replay value. Once you beat this game, you'll probably pick it up and play it again every once in a while just to see if you can beat it again and get the ending. I mean, you can get through it in about an hour or so. But other than that, other than seeing if you can beat it again and see if you can get the 10 million again, there's really not much to bring you back. But it's still a fun game if you have like a whole day to play video games with regardless. So at least there's that. And once again, I am definitely going to say that this is a game for the NES that is worth getting. Definitely worth giving a shot. Once you get used to how the pogo attack and everything, and how the bounce off spikes and what have you, and just get around, this can be a pretty good game to play. So much, though, that there was a DuckTales remastered. A remastered version of DuckTales for the PC that came out so many years later that had the voice acting from the original actors, some of whom have passed on since the remaster came out. And it's definitely worth playing that version as well from what I've seen. I definitely want to get my hands on it and play that version when I get the chance. And hopefully once I get the time to do so, I definitely will. And that's pretty much all there is to say about DuckTales for the NES. So, hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I did. Maybe you enjoyed this a little more even, especially now that I've gotten the $10 million. And hopefully I'll be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad, maybe it'll be somewhere in between, who knows. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see you guys later.